9 signs that you are a natural-born witch. How much magic is in you? Unfortunately, the term witch has a very negative connotation. We think of old, wrinkly females with black cats on their slouching shoulders and thick, hairy warts on their noses. At best, our image is inspired by modern fantasy epics, where witches live among us and lead a more or less sinister, shadowy reign. If we look at witches as healers, herbalists, and sighted people who can read between the lines and are endowed with above-average empathy, a completely different picture emerges. So let's see how modern witches can be recognized, and if maybe you can count yourself among them. Number 1. Closeness to nature is in your blood. It is your home, your place of power, and your energy filling station. If you have been one with nature since childhood and feel nowhere else as comfortable and at ease as outdoors, this strong connection characterizes a modern witch. The forest and the waters, the plants and flowers, and of course the animals are sometimes closer to you than people. Nature provides all the answers for you, comforts you when you are feeling down, and never disappoints you. It tears you apart to see how the earth is being exploited and how mankind's greed for profit helps itself every day on the blue planet. Number 2. Animals are looking for your closeness. Not only do you love animals more than anything, they do the same and trust you unconditionally. Everything that crawls and flies on this earth has your respect. You would never harm a living being or take advantage of it. Animals instinctively feel that there is no threat from you, and therefore seek your proximity. Most of the time, no matter where you are, it doesn't take too long for one of these wonderful creatures to show itself. The image of the witch with a black cat or a raven is not by chance. These women have always known that the company of animals beats that of humans hands down. Horse whisperers, snake charmers, and similar names bear witness to the fact that some people have a very special connection to animals, which can only be described as magical. Number 3. You recognize numbers and patterns everywhere. If you spend a lot of time in the great outdoors, you will eventually be able to decipher its invisible blueprint. Much there is subject to recurring patterns. Snail shells and the arrangement of the seeds of a sunflower, for example, correspond to the Fibonacci spiral. Anyone who walks through the world with open eyes will also recognize geometry everywhere. The recurrence of number sequences and certain sequences, such as those represented by the angel numbers, is no secret to modern witches. They have a trained eye for such conspicuous features and register them on a continuous basis. But there are even more signs that nature and the cosmos have in store for people who see more than the average. The famous feathers are just as much a part of this as dancing leaves in the wind or mystical reflections on water surfaces. The cycle of nature is revealed to modern witches in the smallest things, day after day. Number 4. Visions by day and night. Vivid and very realistic dreams are not unusual for witches. The magicians among us have always known that they can convey many messages. But those who carry real magic within them will also be confronted with it during the day. Images will appear that no one but the chosen few can see. Future events are looming and casting their shadows ahead. But also sequences from the past sometimes want to be seen. This part of the witch's life is tedious and can meet with incomprehension in the environment of gifted seers. The question of how much of this knowledge they reveal and share occupies some of them for a lifetime. Number 5. Memories of a former life. Not only does this life claim natural-born witches, but the earlier ones still play a role as well. Those who live in harmony with nature and the universe never see their existence only one-dimensionally. Life for the magic among us is not a line with a beginning and an end. They see themselves more as part of the cycle to which the entire earth is subject. Therefore, their past lives are not simply past. but still present to some extent. More often than average, they experience déjà vu and meet people who seem strangely familiar. Number 6, you bring healing or suffering. Some witches can bring healing and relief from pain to people with the mere touch of their hands. The practice of laying on of hands is very old and has now even found its way into various contemporary forms of therapy. But where there is blessing, the curse is not far. When someone angers you or wants to harm you or your loved ones, you do not shy away from the dreaded evil eye. In it lies the concentrated power of negative feelings. Thus, it represents a manifestation that can have it all. Number 7, thunderstorms and storms fascinate you. If you live with nature, you do not have to fear it. If you are one of those people who are fascinated by thunder and lightning and would like to experience the power of these mighty natural events firsthand, you probably have witch blood in you. Number 8, empathy is your strength. It is not only the art of healing with the help of plants that lies within witches. They sense much more clearly what is going on in their fellow human beings than other people. Their intuition and gut feeling are very strong and are constantly working at full speed. Moods and whims, emotional states, and the general mental state of their fellow men are an open book for them. Number 9, the moon is irresistibly attractive to you. A cliché that carries a lot of truth is the strong attachment of modern witches to the full moon. These women live according to the cycle of the moon, feeling each one of its phases on their bodies, and even their sleep and menstrual cycles are aligned with the moon's course. No matter where they are, they always look out for it in the evening and can't get enough of the sight of it. Worship of the moon has a long tradition in our history. Many ancient goddesses were associated with the moon and its power over people, those who prefer to seek its strength in earthly facts. The magnetic pull we can sometimes literally feel does exist, and it's not from bad parents. In fact, the moon acts on the earth like a magnet, and thus determines the tides. It is able to pull the water away from the earth, which can be seen in the interplay of high and low tides. Modern witches are in awe of this force, which directs the oceans and seas every day. Magical in all circumstances. Originally, witches were wise and independent women who worked as midwives, had great knowledge in the fields of herbalism and folk medicine, and knew advice for many life situations. Since women in particular were in need of their services, a threat scenario for the male upper class soon arose externally, which found its sad escalation in the witch hunt. Fortunately, things are different today. Women's power is the key word. Today, the whole world is open to modern witches, and without brooms, flying ointments, and witch rides.